could please stand, we'll start off with prayer, a pledge, and then roll call. Please bow your heads if you so wish. Gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you now. We just ask you for guidance and direction. We ask you to be with our community, our staff, our residents here in this community. We ask you to be with this nation during these times of election and just guide them and direct them through those processes and be with them through this guidance for the election. We ask you to watch over us and just be with those that are sick right now and healing and need your prayers and prayer for those people. We say this in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Bailey.
Here.
Egley. Here. Martin.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Beverly.
Here.
Bassett.
Here.
All right. Couple speakers today. We have Abby Wolfram. You want to go first, Abby, if Director of the United Way?
Sure.
Come up to the podium, please. Yeah. Thank you.
I have a couple handouts. I'll just send these across the room if I could. Thank you. My name is Abby Wolfram. I'm serving as Executive Director of the United Way of Defiance County. I took over that role back in 2021, and if you recall, during the middle of the pandemic. So career change during that time was unique and fun to say the least, but I've slowly been trying to get out into the community the last couple of years here. Mayor Barth was kind enough to ask me to come and talk here, and been getting to know folks from the Rotary Club. It's been great the past couple years. I'll tell you how I've been working closely with them, but just wanted to have an opportunity to address anybody that was here at the council meeting tonight. But United Way has been serving our county for over 69 years now, and if you're not familiar with what we're doing, hopefully I can give you just a quick insight. Some of the handouts will break down specifically how we're helping the Hicksville community. My goal as I continue on in this role is to hopefully get to know more of you, more of your needs for your individuals that you're serving here in your community and how we can help out. Again, it's a countywide, local United Way, although my office is in Defiance City. I'm hoping to bridge that gap here and connect with more of you folks. But our internal programs that we are in charge of here in Defiance County are serving a lot of your families and children. We've been working with your local Rotary Club for the past 2 years for our Backpack Buddy program and meeting the needs of that food insecurity. So we are serving 55 Hicksville elementary children every week, packing up bags of food to send home for the weekend. The Backpack Buddy program has been in operation for 15 years. It's a countywide initiative, so across all the local elementary schools, we're serving close to 460 kids throughout Defiance County, and like I said, 55 here in Hicksville. But the Rotary Club's been awesome to work with. They assemble these bags right before their meeting each week. It is something that we love to extend to other community members if you wanted to get involved, but it's a quick and simple way that we can hopefully make a difference and make sure kids have the opportunity to eat over the weekend. It's surprising how many kids have that need, and just hearing the stories are heartbreaking, but it is, again, something that we feel proud that we're able to step in and contribute and help these families. Another way that we support children is through early literacy, and so we fund the Dolly Parton Imagination Library program. Perhaps you have kids or neighbors that are age 5 and under that would benefit from receiving one free book a month during that duration of birth to age 5. Dolly's foundation helps run the operations, but a local entity has to fund the cost of the books and the postage, and the United Way of Defiance County serves that for our local county. We have nearly 1,300 children currently enrolled. I think it's 228. We pulled those numbers just about a week ago. Hicksville children, so a registered Hicksville address that we're serving. So those books are covered by our local United Way thanks to generous donors. So I just wanted to let you know that that initiative couldn't happen unless someone stepped up and covered that cost. And we've mailed over 106,000 books since we started this program back in 2009. Defiance County was one of the first programs launched in the state of Ohio. An interesting fact, Allen County over in Fort Wayne, they just started the program, like just launched it within the last couple of weeks or last month. So I've been fielding some questions for one of their representatives. It's a library over there that took over that program. So I think it's really cool that we've been able to offer this program for so long to the kids in our county. We also help through kindergarten camp. So Hicksville Elementary, we funded 20 children before they started the school year to get some hands-on experience before they started the school year, give them some confidence, worked on some fine motor skills, just to prep them before they started. And those are the little leaders I hear in our kindergarten classrooms right now. So we're happy to fund that program. And again, that's another countywide program and also taking place here at Hicksville Elementary. We work with the Community Service Center and our friend Susan Mack over there to fund the Hicksville Summer Food Program. So since the hospital wasn't able to cover that cost completely the past 2 years, United Way has stepped in to fund those lunches that you guys are handing out during the summer months when school isn't in operation. So that's briefly just a handful of things that the United Way has been doing. So I just wanted to share that, we're still here, we're still relevant. We've just launched our 2024 annual campaign. So how we do all this awesome stuff in the community is by thanks to individuals and businesses, local grants and foundations that help fund us to do these programs in the community. So I guess one plea today could be, we'd love to have some participation and leaders from the Hicksville community step up and help us advocate for the needs that we're fulfilling. Myself and 2 staff members along with 14 board members make up, our small office, and it's meetings like this that I can speak to the masses. If you perhaps are a business owner and you find the United Way to be something you might be passionate about or want to learn more, I would encourage you to reach out to our office to schedule a meeting. Happy to come in and talk more specifics or, address your employees if that could be something that you'd like to do. So I guess I want to be brief. So any questions that you guys might have for me this evening? Yes, sir.
Have you been to like Defiance Eagles or Hicksville Eagles by chance?
Yes, we've approached Defiance Eagles before. They sponsor our trivia night. So we do some other fundraising activities throughout the year. They are broken down in that annual report that we passed out as well. But Hicksville, I guess I did not know there was a Hicksville Eagles, and so.
We like donating money.
I love to hear that,
Yeah.
so yes.
I got a
If you
card.
got a card,
Yeah.
yep, I'd love to take that, thank you.
Very good.
I know your United Way has been a big part of Hicksville and Defiance County for a long time. I
Yeah.
know you're doing different things. The Balloon Fest, I know that's a big fundraiser and
It
a
is.
big activity out there at the airport, so I think
Yeah.
people enjoy that.
We estimate about 5,000 in attendance. I'd love to pull more of the Hicksville community into some of those things that we're doing. Again, that along with the trivia night, and you can sponsor a team to participate. We just did a chicken dinner, so there are several things. We encourage you to follow us on Facebook and get on our website to see what we're doing. But again, happy to have individual conversations if that would be welcomed by any of you as well. But yeah, it's been great getting to know the Hicksville community. I'm from Swanton originally, came all the way to Defiance to go to college and then never left town. So I've been in Defiance for over half my life now. I love living and working here in the Defiance County area, raising my 5 children that attend Ayersville School, so just give you a little side bit about myself. So living here, working here, and want to continue to make a difference here. Yeah.
Very passionate. Thank you,
Yes.
Abby. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, we have Sheriff Doug Engel is here. Get 30 seconds.
30 seconds, that'll work, fine. So the reason I'm here tonight, I was asked to come and I had conversations with the township trustees about the situation in the county that affects our citizens and those traveling through the county, and that's our EMS coverage. We have a critical infrastructure problem. And again, as we look at this, you're asking why is the sheriff involved in this? It's because I oversee the 911 communication center. I am there daily and nightly when situations are occurring, and we don't always have the easiest time getting people to respond. I will tell you that our EMS squads throughout the county are wonderful. They're wonderful people. They work hard, but they're tired. They're very tired. We have a problem. And my problem is first response to the citizens. It's always, ever since I took office, my statement has been, I'm here for the citizens of Defiance County and those citizens that are traveling through, so to speak. And when we have EMS issues, we have to address them. This can has been kicked down the road. Just to be honest with you, this started back when Diane Collins was mayor. We started that talks about this, saw it in the future, and it just keeps getting kicked down the road. We're at a point we can't do it anymore. On the west end of the county, and I hate to say west end, east end of the county, in Defiance County, one of the problems is we have 3 rescue squads or 3 agencies providing rescue personnel for the west end of the county. And what compounds it is now the coverage time or recovery time on each one of these once they start transporting either to Defiance, Bryan, Pauling, or to Fort Wayne. Our recovery time has increased drastically. It went from 30 minutes to now about an hour, hour and a half. If we're going to Fort Wayne, you know what that is. It's 2.5 hours. And that requires then, our communications officers then have to put next in line, so to speak. Mutual aid goes a long ways, and bless their hearts, they're there for each other on mutual aid, but they're tired. And if you look at their numbers, and I don't have them, but I can guarantee you they're up probably 25% more call volume, and length of time is what's really up. The other issue you have, especially with EMS personnel, is you could be a basic EMT, but when you go to the higher up, the ERT or the medics and paramedics, the requirements that are on them by the state of Ohio for updated training, just like law enforcement, is increasing yearly. Now, there's conversations. I will tell you that the state and the federal agencies agree that there's a problem in rural counties in Ohio. But as the sheriff, I'm not going to allow us to sit around here and wait on the state and the feds to come up with a solution. You are the governing body. You are the budgetary. The trustees are the budgetary. So it's so important that you take the lead on this and start working at the solution financially to this situation. Then the EMS squads, the fire departments, they can address the personnel side of it. But the budgetary has to come from the budgetary people, and that's what councils are, that's what the trustees are. And why it became important to Hicksville. How many townships, and I guess I think I know how many townships you guys have contracts with, but I don't know for sure. I know you took in Milford completely a year ago, which really on a rescue squad, and again, it's the first medic personnel to that individual that needs it, is my concern. Okay, so you have 4, Mr. Beverly, 4 townships. So you guys are kind of part of the hub, so to speak, the council is here at that budgetary, because, you know, you're providing the service. And again, I think your cost is probably gonna go up, just with everything going on. Your call volume obviously is going up. And again, I don't know how long the mutual aid thing's gonna survive. If we don't get our personnel some relief, then we're not gonna have the personnel for mutual aid. That's my fear, so. And again, it's frustrating from our point, from the 911 center, is yes, they respond, but then the delay, and it's all about getting that time to the patient first. You know, so that's my concern as the sheriff. And when we're asking out-of-county agencies, you know, closest to Hicksville is Antwerp, and because Williams County's got their hands full too. And in no way or shape or form am I standing before you saying you need to revamp the whole EMS system. We still have got to have the volunteers. Absolutely got to have them. That's the only way that we can financially make it work, so. Okay?
I agree, yeah, we've talked about, you know, budgetaries coming up here and working with Cheryl on that. Bruce has been working with a lot of people trying to get more people involved, and we knew this was coming, you know, back when the township contracts were done, you know, we had a hospital, you know, kind of thing. We didn't know this was gonna happen, but then as time goes by, but it is tough to find people too. It is really tough. There is a wage kind of thing here and there with what people want to do and things like that, so.
We all compete in that wage.
We do,
war.
I mean, companies do, restaurants do, everybody does kind of thing.
But when we
Where
talk
they
about
come through.
infrastructure to the businesses coming in here, they're looking at our EMS and our police coverage. They really are looking at that as whether or not they want to bring their business here.
True.
And I think we got to take the step forward.
True.
So I guess I'm here tonight to ask maybe somebody from your council to take the step forward and kind of lead the charge with the budgetary side of it, and with the Township Trustees Association, and start making this move.
When you say budgetary, what do you mean? I mean,
You got,
the 9 months I've been sitting here, we've given them everything they wanted, so I don't think.
In next year's
No.
budget, well, we've not doubled, but it's close to doubling what previous years have been for the
Okay.
Is that what
EMS,
you meant?
EMS,
well,
wages, pension,
Again.
insurance.
I will tell you that when it comes to, you guys have a proximity to full-time service, but you don't have full-time service. Because you don't have 24/7, 365 days a year, okay? The only one in the county that does is Defiance City Fire. And nobody else has that. South Richland has part-timers, they have one full-time person in their station 365 days a year, but they have to wait on the second to come in as a volunteer to respond. So personally, I think that you, and this is the sheriff talking, that whoever's gonna lead this has got to be looking at reducing the egos, reducing the jurisdictional problems and priorities, and say, we have to address this as a county, as a community. And has to step up and say, budgetarily wise, how are we gonna get service, full-time service to every citizen in our county in the quickest fashion that we can, okay? Because, again, if it's you or one of your family members or any citizen, the importance is getting there. And again, we gotta start someplace. I don't know what it's gonna look like. You know, we've had conversations in the past, over the past 6 years, on what it would look like. It would be a EMS, a full-time EMS on the west end of the county, one on the east end of the county, and then the volunteers would go and help transport and whatever else and back them up.
Do you know if there's any conversations about that happening now? Because I know that that was brought up, a West End merger kind of was the concept that was thrown my way. And most recently I heard it was gonna be way too expensive, that it just would never be able to launch. And I know there's logistics with like even the levies too.
Again, everybody came to that conclusion without anybody taking the lead and finding out what it was gonna take, okay? And again, you ran into some jurisdictional issues where and I hate to say eagles or whatever, where fire personnel didn't want, because they were thinking we were talking fire. We are not talking fire. It is strictly EMS, strictly EMS. And again, get rid of the jurisdictional issues to start with. And let's have the conversation that what is best for the citizen of Defiance County. Okay? And again, I don't know what the numbers are going to be. Fire department and EMS budgets, I don't do that. Okay?
I wasn't on council last year, but I sat in on the meeting where they talked about the West End. And then, like you said, a few weeks later, it came back, now there was too many egos involved. You got the same people running things now, you're gonna have the same egos, aren't you?
But here's the difference. I'm asking the budgetary personnel, the budgetary controllers to take care of it.
I brought up,
Why would they listen to us? Well, let's say we give them $1 million for this, not that I'm in favor of that. Well, no, but I'm just saying, you're still gonna have the
If we got
same.
$1 million, we want to talk.
Well, everybody would have to contribute.
Right,
But if the
correct.
village, you're still gonna have the same button of heads over, well, now I'm not in charge anymore, or whatever the excuses were last year for not following through.
Okay, I will tell you that it's my perception as a sheriff that those are going away. Okay, because personnel is tired, and everybody's recognizing that. And how do we address it?
our
Okay?
chief told us at the last meeting what we needed.
Okay?
And I upset a few people by telling them that we needed to do that. We needed to quit buying trucks and street sweepers, anything like that. We need more people to run those rigs over there. We got 2 new rigs. We just don't have anybody in them, per se. And after I listened to it on YouTube the other day, I've never heard another word from him about it.
And that's my concern. And that's why it's gonna take someone who's gonna step up in a leadership position. As the sheriff, I'm stepping up and I'm saying and voicing, we have a problem. Now, who's gonna step up and take the leadership and ownership of this? Okay, as a sheriff,
But funding's the only way you're gonna answer it.
well, again, but somebody's gotta lead the charge on funding, and it's gotta be the budgetary personnel, meaning councils, it's gotta be council members, it's gotta be trustee, somebody from the trustees association, somebody from the Hicksville, the Nay, the Sherwood, has all got to get together and start this as conversations.
Can I ask, with your township meetings, and I heard you had,
Yes.
were they receptive to take a look at the, the contracts? It's a different
Right.
ballgame than what we were a year ago.
Yes.
You know that.
Well,
so.
and some of the ballgame changes have been political, okay? Some of the trustees have gone out and new have come in. And again, I think we're in an environment that is totally different than we were 6 years ago. We saw it coming 6 years ago, but now we're here and the citizens are seeing it directly. And so I think it's a big game changer, so to speak. And I think they're gonna be receptive. They're having conversations amongst themselves.
Right. And, if I could speak with Bruce a little bit about stuff like this, we've talked to hospitals, we've tried, we've upped our game a little bit with the financial side and talking about staffing. bringing on people that are local, that are willing to call, for, run from home, but then hiring people from out of town that are gonna be on scheduled. You can't, rely on them, they run on shift. Talked about changing hours, so we're addressing it. It's not an easy fix, it can't happen overnight. I know committees addressed it. We've talked numerous times, and they're struggling. We're all struggling.
Right.
You talk about the other departments. I know they're short-staffed. We talk about Parkview and different things with their squads and everything, and they're full-time, big difference in levels, but they're short-staffed, kind of thing. And at a higher pay
Young man
level.
before his arm goes to sleep.
No, it's okay, no. So is there anybody that has for the whole West End area that can look at the requirement, what's needed, right? Number of hours, personnel, can put all that information together, right? Because you guys, that's not your guys' expertise, right? You guys are the ones that are like, hey, we can approve this and that put together, not just for Hicksville, right? Because this West End is what, Nays,
Yes.
Sherwood, Hicksville. Is there someone that could take the demand for the entire West End
I will
and
tell
put
you,
together a plan?
yes, and what I will say is the fire chiefs and the EMS chiefs, I've been in conversations. I'm not at liberty because I haven't talked to him directly, but there is somebody who is capable, I would say, of doing that.
Just do the
and-
gap
and so-
analysis of here's current state, here's where we need to
Correct,
be, what's our
but-
gap analysis, and
but-
then figure out how that would spread out across the
Exactly,
communities.
but again, it takes also the budgetary side, and my point of being at the Hicksville is you represent 4 of the townships on the west end. You provide the service to them, you're already communicating with those trustees. So that's why you guys become an extreme partner in this. Okay?
Have you watched a lot of our council meetings? You ever been that board to sit around and watch our council meetings?
Pardon me?
Have you sat around and watched our council meetings over the last few months or anything?
No, I have not.
Bruce has been to us repeatedly,
Mhm.
asking for part-time people, and the question always is this gonna eliminate the issues we're having at nighttime, on weekends, on the holidays, and we're always, yes. And we have approved the majority of council has approved everyone that he's asked for. I don't think there's been one person that has been voted no. He came to us recently, and when we're doing budget, I'm on finance committee, and asked us for more money for 2 more full-time EMTs.
Okay.
And we told him how much money Cheryl had budgeted for wages, not including pension and insurance and everything else, which all went up a lot. And he said, that's more than plenty for what I need for wages. So we put money into his wage line item. But I know they're also dealing with the issue of, even if you have full-time staff, around the clock, 24/7,
Right.
that's 2 EMTs. A lot of times they get 2 calls at one time, and their turnaround time's not 30 minutes anymore, it's 90 minutes. And so for them to take somebody 90 minutes away, we don't always have a second, 2 more volunteers available to respond.
And that's the
You're
importance
saying you
of
put
it.
120 into their budget?
They're, what's that, 120? It went up more than that.
Yeah.
Went up
It's
140
2
some thousand.
full-time.
Why didn't you hire them?
Which is, well, hasn't been approved next year's budget.
Well,
We haven't filled the part-time positions yet.
Well, no, because nobody wants to run the part-time.
You can go to McDonald's and make more money than being an EMT.
You can go to the park and mow grass. If you look at this budget, you can make more
Anyway.
money mowing grass.
So again, that's the importance of it, is that you guys are addressing that issue. You understand, the council here understands the difficulties of what you're dealing with. But again, you're doing 4 other townships. Please, somebody here, just take the lead on that.
I know we've been talking about it a lot.
But now it's time to get everybody involved
I
and
mean,
address
we
it.
just brought in a new gentleman here lives in town,
Mm-hmm.
willing to work some of those extra hours, off hours kind of thing, and he just started, but he's still in training, kind of thing. So just to find somebody like him, it's a blessing. I mean, it really is, and our staff is dedicated, I get that, so. but
And I would ask that you guys reach out to the other village councils and see, and trustees and associates. So thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you for coming over, sir.
All right, we have approval of the October 21st regular council meeting minutes. Any questions?
I'm pretty sure I
concerns?
made a motion to adjourn that meeting.
What?
Yes, you did.
Motion.
And Charlie seconded that. Make a motion to approve with that added.
Second.
Roll call.
It's late. About 8, 10 after 8.
Yeah.
7:47.
Close enough.
Roll call.
Bailey?
Yes.
Bassett?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yes.
Egley?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Okay, I get a payment list, bills list in your packet. Any questions or concerns on that?
On, for Vernagle, is that the end of it?
No,
No?
I did.
We're getting close to the end of it?
I would say we're probably 80%.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Roll call.
Beverly?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Bassett?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Egley?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Sure. We had boards and commission, I don't think anybody had meetings on that. Council committee reports, I think you had a finance, minutes in your packet for,
On the table.
on the table tonight, yep. Questions or that? Okay, administrators report.
All of our water main valves have been successfully replaced. Asphalt repairs will start here in the next week or so. Today, we did receive the grant agreement for the $750,000 in the park. It is currently out to bid. Bid due date is November 14th. Tomorrow, we do have a on-site visit meeting at 1:30 down there in the park for any potential bidders that want to see the site. We did hold the farm lease bid opening on October 29th, and Zedike Farms was awarded that 19.25 acres. We did start the leaf pickup today in the northwest sector. The guys were cut short today due to rain, so they will pick back up on that hopefully tomorrow if they can get the Tuesday route completed in time. If not, we will use Friday as our makeup day. We did take delivery of the 2 new mini dump trucks that we had been waiting on for a year or better. They seem to be working out great. The 2 older mini dumps, we still need to get the radio out of them, get the decals, what's left of the decals off of them, and then we will probably end up listing them on the Gov Deals website. Did submit an order for 2 new F-250 utility trucks. It will be the 4-wheel drive F-250s to replace the red 250 and the old 06 E350 van. They will have the utility truck boxes on them rather than just a standard bed. The fence out here in the alley was replaced from the Centos truck that hit it. And then the light pole on Industrial Drive, Owens Electric is going to be taking that away and replacing that with a new one. They were the ones that installed those poles out there on Industrial Drive. And as of the other day, our lead time on a new pole is 18 weeks. So I have
Any questions for Corey? Okay. All right, Rachel, you're up.
First one, I got final reading of ordinance 2024-05,
17 by caption only to add employee holidays.
If you're looking for it in your packet, I didn't put it in this
Oh, I'm
one.
like, I don't remember.
17 and 18 are missing, but there's a final reading on those.
Make motion to approve.
Second. Roll call.
Martin,
Yes.
Miller,
No.
Bailey,
Yes.
Egley,
Yes.
if you forget where it was, Beverly,
No.
Bassett,
Yes.
We have final reading of ordinance 2024-18 by caption only to allow employees to be compensated for certain accumulated vacation credits.
So move.
Second.
Roll call.
Bailey,
Yes.
Bassett,
Yes.
Beverly,
Nope.
Miller,
No.
Martin,
Yes.
Egley,
Yes.
Second reading of ordinance 2024-20 by caption only to amend water rates. Then we have second reading of ordinance 2024-21 by caption only to amend refuse rates. And second reading of ordinance 2024-22 by caption only to amend sewer rates.
Before you go on, Cheryl, you get your mic question.
First reading of ordinance 2024-23 by caption only to establish pay ranges in 2025.
Cheryl, did you get my email on that? One that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 of them that I don't think are right. Emailed you on the 29th.
I did.
Okay, including yours.
I think,
You didn't, they're not changed on this, so, okay, just wanna make sure you got it. Was it right?
no,
Was it right?
mine was right.
No, I'll come down and see it.
Okay.
So we have first reading of ordinance 2024-24 by caption only to amend appropriations and declaring an emergency.
I have a question. So, just because it did the first reading, if there's something wrong and we find wrong, we can still work with that? Okay.
We had 3 readings, yeah.
Okay.
Making a motion to suspend the rules on,
2024.
yeah.
24.
Yeah. And then the appropriations for the donations.
Roll call.
Bailey,
Yes.
Bassett,
Yes.
Beverly,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Egley,
Yes.
Second,
Rachel, can I ask a question on 24-23? When did we get a full-time park director?
Which one, this one here?
Don't, yeah.
Yeah, we don't.
Huh?
We don't. Those are all my questions.
Well, isn't now the time to question?
That was one of my questions, I guess.
That was, or we got to read back the ordinance we just passed as emergency, don't we?
well, you can finish, I'll remember, have you finish that.
Oh, well, go ahead and finish that, we'll come back to me. Go ahead.
You gotta reread.
all right. Second and final reading of ordinance 2024-24 by caption only to amend appropriations and declaring an emergency.
So move.
Second?
Roll call.
Beverly,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Bassett,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Egley,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Okay, so then we have first reading of ordinance 2024-25 by caption only, annual appropriations. Final reading of resolution 2024-22 by caption only to amend the investment policy of the village of Hicksville.
move.
Second.
Roll call.
Beverly?
I don't know enough about it, so I'm gonna say no.
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Bassett?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Egley?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
First reading of resolution 2024-23 by caption only authorizing an easement to AEP Electric for relocation of water lines and declaring an emergency.
Can you explain that, Corey? AEP is moving water lines? Isn't that what it says? Tell me what they're doing. What's going on for,
AEP's just setting a pole. They were gonna do a transformer and now they're gonna set a pole. Set a transformer.
so, but we have to, the village has to move water lines?
We don't have to move anything.
What the hell, it says water lines in
It
it.
says authorizing an easement.
For the relocation of water lines and other utility equipment.
That's not correct.
No, we're not relocating any water.
The very first paragraph after it says AEP Ohio desires to relocate some water lines
Yeah,
for the construction of the splash pad.
yeah. That's what it says.
Yeah, we're not relocating any water lines.
Probably ought to change it then.
I will. I'll look and see what their paperwork says.
Then, first reading of resolution 2024-24 by caption only authorizing the mayor to enter into a grant application project on behalf of the fire department with Ohio First Responder Grants LLC declaring an emergency.
Before we get to that, do we need to finish the one we just read, the AEP one? You need to
I'm
look-
gonna rewrite it.
Okay, so the fact it's an emergency can wait 2 weeks? Okay, just wanted to make sure.
We'll have to now.
Okay.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on resolution 2024-24.
No second.
Roll call.
Beverly?
Which one is
That's
it?
the grant.
That's the grant for the Quint.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Bassett?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Egley?
Yes.
Second and final reading of resolution 2024-24 by caption only authorizing the mayor to enter into grant application project on behalf of the fire department with Ohio First Responder Grants LLC declaring an emergency.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Bailey?
Yes.
Egley?
Yes.
Bassett?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yes.
So any questions for Rachel? Good. Yep. Department heads, we got Chief Denny.
I don't think I have anything right now, except for you should have received the monthly stats for October, I guess it would have been, for calls for service and cases, so.
Did you fill that one vacancy yet? Rich came back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You were doing an interview too, and I remember you.
Yeah, well, I've reached out to hire the other for part-time and cannot get her to return phone calls, so. So I guess probably won't be hiring part-time.
Any questions for Chief Denny?
It's in your budget.
Okay.
Thanks, Chief. Derek, you want to go? Fire Chief Derek.
Sure. Evening. I don't have a whole lot to share. We're still actively moving forward as far as the fire department. I think we're showing great progress as far as there's a house down on Main that the guys have been training in recently. So it's getting them some training experience, which I think is going positive. We recently, on an off note, just had the the annual bingo, which was a success. The fair bingo, there was a huge turnout. It went well. The first time doing the little trick or treat thing, we had a little movie night thing. I think overall, I think if we advertised a little bit more, it would have been a lot bigger success after trick or treat. But nevertheless, it was a good time. On the fire side, our runs are somewhat picking up more. I think between EMS and fire, there only may have been 2 days in the month of October that there wasn't a run. So with all that being said, again, the guys on the fire side are still active, and the response is amazing on the fire side. The guys are showing great promise as far as that goes. So I don't see a concern yet as far as us responding, because a lot of us are still too ambitious, which is great. Other than that, we're still moving forward, looking at other training opportunities for the guys. We have recently broken our fire guys down into teams to make training a lot better. I'm inquiring about getting some guys into a burn building situation just so they could get some exposure as far as different scenarios and situations. Just so they could be aware of what could come later in the future, as far as if we have anything. Lastly is we're just moving forward and trying to do things the right way as far as the fire department goes. Again, I see great promise and good things that hopefully come in the future. Uniform guy, we just had a uniform guy come the 1st of November to fit guys for gear. He's going to be getting me some numbers for a possible idea of ordering group gear at a very discounted rate. That's not really a big conversation right now because he hadn't brought the numbers as far as the amount of gear that's allotted per year. Also, the same distributor is involved in getting us together for uniforms, which I know I have a uniform budget. With the numbers he's talking, I wouldn't exceed even the current uniform budget, which is great. And I can almost outfit quite a bit of guys. We've got 24 guys on the fire side. I won't be able to outfit all 24, but I can at least possibly get half of the guys outfit. So then when we do go out somewhere, we look good. We look as a team. And I think that's important as far as events, funerals, however the case may be. I think we all should look united and as one. So that's a goal of mine, to get everybody to look alike. So I'm working on that. The guy will be back in December on the 12th to give us the numbers and a demo as far as what the cost is going into uniforms and fitting guys out for gear. And he's also going to give me the numbers on the possible the batch gear that can be ordered as far as that goes. But again, I don't have those numbers, so that's not a conversation that I'm having here today, because I don't have anything to back up, or support the numbers and the amount of gear that he's speaking of. He says other agencies around the area have went to it, like Toledo. They recently went to it. Some of the other big departments who are full-time have went to this, and it's been a big success. Again, I realize we're not a full-time department, but depending on what he's talking about, it could be beneficial to us as far as gear goes, and making sure everybody is inundated and no one has to go with gear that's going to expire or even close to expire. So that's another goal moving forward of mine.
Do we have any questions for Derek? Thank you, Derek.
All right.
Chiefs don't cut.
Couple things. First of all, we had 68 runs last month.
We are at 602 for the year, and that is a combination of fire and EMS. I am looking seriously at probably close to 750 this year. Like the sheriff was saying, our run volume, it's been across the county, has increased. I will say that a couple weeks ago, we had an incident where we had a call come in, and the day crew went out on that call. And within 3 minutes, I think it was maybe 3 to 10 minutes, we got another call. This one I was out to the school. Just saying that it had the one person not, or had the one person been at work, we would have been waiting. As it was, that person wasn't at work. She didn't have to work that day at her other job, and we were able to get out there. Just saying that, you know, this goes back to what the sheriff was saying about these calls adding up, and, you know, having the people, having the full-timers that, yeah, again, the two that I'm thinking of were part-time, you know, elsewhere, and having them full-time here would allow us to utilize them on these second runs. Yes, sir.
Have you talked to those two?
Yes, I have. I've talked to one. I've talked to the one. The other one, I'm still waiting to talk to, because there's something internally that I need to deal with there first. But
there's interest.
They're good to go. All we gotta do is pull the trigger. Sorry. All we need to do is say yes. And I know, and I was unaware of the increase in the budget for wages for next year.
Well, I would think we should somehow be able to come up with enough to finish this year out of somewhere. And then have it in the budget for next year to continue on with wages. Could that happen by any chance, Cheryl?
Did you look at what she sent? Kind of, you got the numbers right in front of you.
I don't agree with them.
Well, you can't argue with fact, some of them. The levy brings in X amount.
Or if I die between now and then.
Well, we'd have less noise here.
There always seems to be money, but there wasn't anything else, so I don't know why we couldn't come up with wages for 2 months.
And I want to address something that Eric said earlier, and I'm not trying to pick on him. I have asked a lot of you guys this year, and you guys have given me everything, and don't get it twisted, I am very, very appreciative. Very appreciative.
But we're still not where we need to be.
But
we know people have lives too. I mean, they can't be on,
Right.
I understand that's part of their job, but I mean, some of them have families, some of them have a second job. I
Right.
mean, and sometimes you guys got 2 calls at a time.
Yeah.
And I completely agree with what you said about being burnt out. I know people that are former EMTs, and they on call 24/7, running all the time, and
I know, the one person I know, the one person I'm thinking that you're probably talking about, yes. I'm surprised that he didn't burn out earlier.
yeah. You talk about it different times about, and the call volume isn't what it is now,
Yeah.
so.
And with the situation with trying to get somebody to fill in these next couple months, and then you got the trainees coming online here hopefully soon, but have you talked to your staff? I know we talked last week, you were trying to get a staff meeting, I think.
So.
But let me finish real quick.
Okay.
But you were talking about the scheduling, if you did get some rework with your department, maybe some additional personnel, if they were gonna cover, you keep on, you know, it's the shifts that, well, who wants them, right? It's the night shifts, the kind of the weekenders and.
So hiring the 2 would cover the night shifts, and here's and I've already talked to a couple of people, and the fire chief and I have actually talked about this before, and I think I've alluded to this, where I go to everybody, and
and say, look, in order to cover the weekends, everybody's gonna have to give me at least a 12-hour shift per month, at least, okay? And that's what we have talked about, all right? Now, that was met with, okay, that's fine, because they don't want us to, they don't want to see us go into 24s. Because if we don't do something, I mean, at some point from now until the 7 come on, we're gonna have holes in the schedule, you know, and.
But if we hired those 2, we wouldn't?
So right now, overnights, you have nobody.
I'm not talking history, I'm talking, if we hired those 2, would we be good? The holes are full.
The holes will be full.
But the reality of the situation is we don't need 2, we need 8. And that's definitely not in the budget.
He just said he can take care of it with 2.
We don't need, am I correct when I say we don't need 2, we need 8? We have 2 ambulances over
You're
there.
looking for the perfect world, I'm just looking at.
I'm looking to run the ambulance that we
So
want.
here, all right, I know what you're alluding to. Okay, so in the perfect world, it's like this. For 24/7 coverage, 24/7, 365, you need 4 people over there at all times. So if you did 2 12-hour shifts per day, like everybody else on the planet does, if you did 2 12-hour shifts per day, you'd have to have 8 people over there. Now, the problem with that is you've got 8, all right? So you're gonna need another 8 to cover, because the way the 12-hour shift works is you work Monday, Tuesday, you're off Wednesday, Thursday, so the other shift has to pick up that Wednesday, Thursday, and then like shift A would be, you would be back to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then B shift, let's say, would run Monday, Tuesday. So yes, in theory, you would need minimum 16 full-timers for 24/7, 365.
And the more you talk, the more
But-
that number grows.
But that's what,
When we're talking
2, now we're up
about
to 16?
2 people
No.
would not relieve the fact that we're still gonna need mutual aid.
Well,
2 people would not solve that.
so here's the thing, here's the thing, if we can get these, we've got 1 person during the day that has kids, so she's typically unavailable after 4 o'clock. Okay, and then we have the other gentleman that he's, you know, he runs a lot. You guys see the time cards, he runs a lot. Putting together these shifts with the 2 full-timers, 2 extra full-timers, where they cover midnight to 8, that's going to reduce some overtime for the 1 daytime gentleman. And then we would have, at that point, we would have 10 personnel, which quite frankly is the most that this village has had in probably a good 10 years. We'd have 10 personnel, and that 10 personnel, I would mandate that, again, everybody has to give me a 12-hour shift. All right, Drew?
And you said those contracts have already been signed? Is that what, Cheryl, is that what you got in your office?
Well, maybe I'm missing something, but back to the day you had 2 calls in and out of the school. What were those 2 extra bodies gonna get it? We'd still been 2 people short.
No, you wouldn't have.
Well, how are they work? You're gonna have 4 on day shift?
Because the one that responded with me would have been at her other part-time job. If she was full-time here, she would have
Well,
responded.
what I'm saying, you're gonna need more, you're gonna have 4 full-time during the day?
No. You're gonna have 2 full-time during the day, and then you got your backups.
Well, who would have responded that day?
Well, me and Rebecca.
Okay. I thought I was missing some.
No, because Eric was showing me the way when I pulled in.
Where are the part-time people that was put on a couple months ago?
So here's, the one part-timer, she works, a lot of overnights, and isn't doing weekends, and that's one of them that I wanna look at putting on full-time, but I have to deal with something internally first before I do that. And then the one gentleman, he's actually going to be giving us a couple 24s on the weekends coming up real soon. He gave me a schedule. He's picking up a lot of hours. And granted, they are coming from another entity that's hurting just as much as we are. And I mean, I hate to say it, but we're kind of siphoning them off, but they are picking up. Now, I'm gonna use the fire chief here. When he's at work, I mean, especially if he like works during the day, he'll show up at night. Not all the time, because he's got to sleep at some point, but he does show up. So I can count on him. Then I can count on the one guy that's always the overtime guy, So, yes, it looks like a big old plaid blanket where you're piecing together parts and pieces, so. But yes, if we can get the other two, we can get this.
So then we need to quit talking about what we've done in the past and ask of this council to please, at this time, allow this man to put these two people on.
To me, that's the sheriff, we got money, because budget-wise, right now, what we spend per month on EMS, what our budget is, it's not in this year's budget unless the sheriff can find a way to have money for it. Because actually, we'll go over budget with current rate per month.
You can look at me all day long.
To
Unless I go look at the numbers, I can't give you an answer.
To answer Tony's question, it won't eliminate mutual aid. I don't think at some point mutual aid will ever be eliminated totally, but it would help. But in that perfect world, if it was as 8 people, it would eliminate the mutual aid to some point, like decrease it by a lot.
I will say this, and we all know that the turnaround time has just went astronomical. Unfortunately, by the time you get on a scene and by the time you leave, maybe 10, 15 minutes has passed, and then you got another 15, 20 minutes to probably Ryan would be the closest, depending on where you're at. And so by the time you get back, an hour's lapsed. And in that time, you could have 2 more calls. Well, the crew's up in Ryan. So, I mean, we're dealing with a lot of what ifs and shoulda, woulda, couldas, but at this point, I mean, at this point, we're just sitting there going, okay, we're doing the best that we can. Let's put these 2 people on, because like tomorrow, if we get another call, if we get a second call during the day, she's not available.
Well, can we do this? Can we tell him that we will allow those 2 to be put on, and as soon as Cheryl says, yes, I found the money, or we can borrow the money or do whatever it takes to get. We have run Sherwood ragged. I mean, they're getting their mail over here now. They're here, they're in town all the time.
Well, I think that's a good point. Bruce, have you, I know initially there were conversations and that you sat in on these meetings. Have you been a part of any meetings since then, or
No, so.
do we need to, like, how can we as a council help progress that?
So here's for you guys to progress that. We need to get
we need to get the townships, and we need to get Sherwood and Delaware. We need to go basically from the state line to the Culligan, where Delaware ends, or wherever Delaware ends. All right, we need to go that whole distance, and we need to get people in here or somewhere, and we need to sit down with them and go, look, it's, because Daryl and I sat down, and we did do this. We did come up. It was minimum $1 million to get something off the ground. And the problem is, the problem is that everybody's looking at property taxes going sky high right now, and nobody's wanting to vote for it. That's why when we said, that's why when it was brought up that it was going to be $1 million, we kind of went, well, I mean, we're kind of like backing off. But
That number hasn't gotten any smaller.
And that number's not getting any smaller. And quite honestly, the number keeps getting bigger, you know. And at some point, what we're doing is unsustainable. At some point, it's very unsustainable.
You know, I think we should have a
doing-
discussion again with all three entities in the townships. We'll bring them all together in a room, and like I said, this is a point where we need to all come together as a community, as the townships, as the residents, and we can formulate a plan. I think in that process though, and you guys probably crunch numbers, staffing,
Yeah.
they're all short-staffed.
Yeah.
They are all short-staffed, so that's increasing numbers across the board.
But-
Even if you bring those on as a group, I think you're still with the backups and the extra squads and everything else.
Well, that's where your volunteers become so important.
Right. So, and
You know.
Are other areas seeing like volunteers? Because I know that's been an issue, that we've even offered to hire them as part-time and we still can't get them.
Right. And public service is a huge problem. And that's why the 88 counties are having meetings in Columbus with the governor and officials down there. I know Commissioner Kern is in conversations with the other statewide commissioners group. But again, why I can't stress, we can't wait on the state to fix our problem. We have to find a solution. There's other counties that are in the same boat or have been, and they have this lack of terminology, echo unit or whatever, that is the first source to go, but then the volunteers back up. And how it varies from county to county.
We do, I don't know if you knew this, but we do have 7 people going through a class, but
Yes,
unfortunately
yes.
that's 6 months, right?
But
Like,
it's basic.
And everything, true.
And basic can only do so much.
Right.
And again, and I apologize for taking any more time, but we have carried AEDs in our cruisers forever, okay? We have deployed them, we use them. It's an expensive cost every time we use them to my agency, but so what? Okay, my concern is for the citizen that we're doing that for. And the reason we went to that is to assist the rescue personnel that we may be there 10 minutes before they are, you know, as a volunteer, just to help that patient. It's firsthand, but we can't push meds. And your basic EMT, and then there's is it ERT or something?
AEMT.
Advanced.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's an advance, and then there's a paramedic, and then there's even a level where you can just drive the squad or something.
That's EMR.
EMR, okay. So, again, I'm not trying to answer for them, but that's the importance of this, is you gotta start someplace.
I think at the very least, within the next, within the next month, 2 months, we need to have for lack of a better term, a come to Jesus moment with everybody.
I think we need it right now, and we need to somehow, this group, authorize you to bring on 2 more EMTs. The sense of waiting, well, we'll get back with you here in a week or 2. You could lose, I pray to God it never happens, you could lose 2 or 3 people. I could have a heart attack, and if you can't get down and around all the detours and get in my driveway, and I die, I'm gonna leave a note for my wife to sue this town.
Well, thankfully, Ron, I just live right around the corner from you, so.
You're not allowed on my property.
Thanks, Ron.
I'll say this
No.
real quick and leave it alone, but with these 7 new guys coming, I also was going to entertain the fact of having a first in bag and revamping the AED on the engine and having an EMT on the engine and responding when the squads are not available to provide care until EMS gets there. Because like the sheriff was saying, getting to the patient first, at least we can start care until they come and can somewhat manage that patient. So it's not uncommon for an engine to respond to EMS.
So yes, we
But
are.
there again, you just put that thought inside of that can that keeps getting kicked.
Well, I don't have this.
Well, as soon as,
I gotta wait.
as soon as.
We need to do something now.
And just
I'll stand up.
kind of give you some good news. Today I finished up my instructor class, so I got to sit for the state test, and then I'll be an EMS instructor. But one of the people in my class last week taught in Defiance, and that's where our 7 people are going. And she gave them high praise. So that's where we're at.
I don't know, I think you gotta, I'm sorry, but I think you got volunteer firemen, they signed up, they took an oath. We're in a dire need, they need to start showing up. That's my feelings about it.
But
if I was the leader, I'd be saying this is the way it's gonna be.
But Mark, volunteer firefighters can't do anything.
I don't care, because they've signed up for this, to do this job. It's
A
public
volunteer firefighter is not an EMT, Mark.
I'm talking about EMT.
Just like an EMT is not a police officer.
I know,
So
I'm
please
talking about
don't sit there and tell me.
Okay, all right, gentlemen, settle down. I know, emotions are high, I get that. We want our people to run, we definitely need some new people, so, we've asked to sit down and talk to your staff. You've come to council with needs, wants, and ideas. We talk about trying to bring in some new people. It is hard. You've advertised, I get that. I've watched who you're bringing in. It's hard to find people. It is.
We found
To me,
2.
I know that, and I agree with that. I agree with trying to get these 2 worst months and months out of, having these basics come on board, but, it's up to council. I don't have that power to say, let's do it, but.
Can I make a motion? Let's authorize the EMT chief to hire those 2 after Cheryl looks around tomorrow morning and sees that she can appropriate this.
He put a timeline on it.
No, I don't mean that.
Huh?
Well, we need, if we're gonna hire, we're gonna hire. I mean, if we're gonna try to find the money, and I know it's gonna be tough to find the money.
The money's there.
Well,
No, so, we got a first to hire.
I will second that.
yeah.
To hire, to allow him to hire without all that other stuff I said. Just allow him to hire those 2 people.
A lot of stuff. Okay.
I know.
But like I said, you
People
talked
don't
to your staff about trying to change the schedule, working the overtime, working the extra hours, so, yeah.
Legally.
Yes.
Bassett.
Yes.
Beverly.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Now it's up to Cheryl.
Well,
Need her approval first.
necessarily.
Well,
What are you saying, Kent?
Nothing.
There's no budget, there's not money in the budget currently for this year.
Yeah, I know.
Because what they're spending now, they'll be $24.50 over approximately
Take
wages.
it from a dump truck or something like that.
Beside the point, if we hire these 2 and then you
No
get
work.
7 to come on next year,
Needs
won't
to.
there be a lot of
It
lost
doesn't.
hours? Will the 7 gone through class be like, they're not gonna get enough hours, why are we doing this?
Well, the 7 will only be volunteer as needed, and those are the guys who are also firemen, who are also gonna serve on the engine or respond
We have one that I see her getting her degree and not sticking around, and I see one retiring sometime.
So we've got two.
I see a couple coming in the next
Well-
few years, if not sooner, possibly leaving the
Yes.
department for different
Yes.
reasons.
You've got, yeah.
So we're gonna be hiring 2 more full-time?
Well, hopefully,
Unless some of these part-timers can
yeah,
move
hopefully a
over.
couple of 7 might be
Ken,
on.
I'm praying that doesn't happen until at least March.
Well,
That hard runner's he's gonna retire before you know it. And it's not gonna be, hey, I think comes next October, I'm gonna retire. It's gonna be,
The village
Friday's my
always
last
had
day.
plenty of volunteers till we started paying, and then suddenly volunteers wanted paid.
It's everywhere for volunteers.
yep.
It used to. But for a minute, then they started paying.
But we're not,
I
we
told
are
you
not.
when
They
we
want
started
full-time
paying, I said
jobs.
it's gonna turn into a
Well-
full-time department. And I don't blame anybody if I'm working beside of Eric and Charlie and they're getting paid $30 an hour, but they're not paying me because I'm a volunteer, I'm not gonna work too hard.
so, but moving forward, you're good? You're gonna get with your staff? Cheryl's gonna look into that, or look at me, or hang me in the morning?
I don't know if it's Cheryl's job to find the money.
So I guess my next question would be if I go over there and talk to them and tell them that this is what we're gonna do, can they, do we want?
After you talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't do, I
But you
wouldn't.
have to, can we also,
It's gonna keep here.
we need to make sure
Gentlemen,
that,
we can't hear up here, I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that we follow the rules.
Hey, guys, can you guys
Posted
keep down? I can't
correctly
hear.
and get it in there. So I mean, we're gonna be a few weeks out just to make sure, because I know there were some issues with getting things posted in the right places. So I wanna make sure that's done correctly this time. Even though you have some people that are lined up, legally we have to put it out there. And I wanna make sure that's done correctly.
One other thing, so I'll be able to sleep tonight, that you said you have something about one person that you need to do some checking in. It's not criminal, is it?
No.
Okay.
Thank you, Bruce.
His blood pressure is high.
No park tonight. Fiscal officer's report.
We have the fund summary, fund status, and it is staying the same, thank goodness. If you notice on the cash summary by fund, we have brought in $6 million and we've spent $6 million. So at least we're even. Have the utility report and the income tax collections. And I talked with Kim about income tax next year because we won't have the hospital there. But I think we're still good. If you looked at the estimated revenue that I have, it's still moving right along because the rest of Hicksville's kind of filling in the gaps. The factories that are expanding, putting more people to work. And you have the franchise fee payment for the third quarter from MediaCom. The revolving loan fund, everyone's current. And the Bureau of Labor Statistics, in case you wanted to see that, that compensation is up 0.8%. And over the year, it's 3.9. From June to September, it was a little low. Just in case you're interested in that. And I also tonight put a copy of the PowerPoint explaining fund accounting, so y'all can know why we can't just take money from one place and stick it in another because they have extra. I'm not allowed to. So you have it black and white from the state auditor. I can't do it.
You can take money out of general fund and put towards the investment house. That's where I'm seeing some extra money available this year yet.
Any questions for Cheryl? Mark?
Sharpen your pencil tomorrow.
Stab you in the neck.
Wow.
Please don't.
Remember that if you find me in an alley with a pencil in my neck,
get an
Remember
escort, get him an escort out, anyway. I want to thank everybody for the discussion tonight. Cheryl, the finance committee, they've been working on, and the department heads have been working a lot with the budget for next year. I know there's a lot of changes, not a lot of changes, but things going on, but you know, it's a hard time of the year to get everybody together and kind of look at some different numbers and where we're going for next year. So, but real quick, tomorrow's November 4th. Voting is at Empower Church. Oh, it's the 5th, I'm sorry, 5th. Okay. So vote if you can, please. I am doing the state public records training tomorrow from 10 to 1:30 for council and myself. We'll get that covered and taken care of. Hopefully I'll pass the test. No guarantees though. Right? Hopefully there's no test. But, wanted to thank you real quick, the fire and EMS for the movie night, of course, and then Feather Bingo. Since I won a ham, I was happy. It was a good night, right? Like I need a ham. But thank you for doing that, reaching out to the public and offering some fun nights for that. Like you said, leaf pickup starting here. Corey's working on that. Myself, Corey, and Jared are going to be attending municipal funding meeting next Tuesday, I believe, in Pemberville. That we're going to that. Here recently, just for some insight, we've had a couple healthcare entities reach out to the community, myself, and just said they had some interest in the hospital. I got to meet with a receiver that's kind of taking over the operations. I think that's a positive. They're actually coming to town. They're from out west, different places. They're calling. You know, to me, that's a positive. They have some interest in the hospital, and I asked them, they are hospitals, kind of what they do. So I said, if there's anything we can do to help promote the town, the county, EMS, fire, everything, please let us know. Commissioners, I gave them our state reps and different phone numbers for economic development. So moving forward with that, but hopefully we can find somebody here soon to help with that situation. So the Huber next week is hosting a wine tasting event November 8th from 7 to 10. There's tickets still available. So if you're interested in, they've got hors d'oeuvres, Two Bandits Brewing is going to be there. Like I said, some music, but November 8th, 7 to 10 at the Huber. You can reach out to, I have some tickets, but also reach out to the Huber for tickets and everything for that event. So I don't have anything else.
Are you, the village office is closed on Monday?
Yes.
Yes.
Village office, we're talking about Monday, so.
Veterans Day.
Yeah, we're good first.
I never had a chance to research or read it yet.
But we will.
What's the problem, kid?
Well, I think there's plenty of problems.
Speak up.
I will in an executive session, yes.
You want a motion for executive?
Yeah. Same as
Second.
last time.
Second. Okay.
Instead of waiting another 2 weeks, just keep letting stuff go.
Copy again. We'll get, we'll get,
Yeah, you can say.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else.
Sorry,
My fault.
No.
The next page has got the interest rates on it. Disciplinary.
Yeah, 'cause I haven't had a chance to even read it yet.
What are you reading?
Whatever I go into the meeting for.
Yes. Yes, yes.
Yes.